Hey everybody, this is Butt Sanchez, the only YouTuber that made you realize you never had a better time on YouTube until now. Today we're going to start everyone's favorite area in Super Metroid, which is Maridia. But before we start, I'm going to show off a glitch right off the bat. So I'm going to press start right before it fades. I think that was a little bit too early there. Actually, I probably should show off this before I do it. So if you come in here without the gravity suit and jump, it just shows you how terrible your underwater mechanics or movement are. Really, really awkward, really, really slippery. And you can actually jump quite high without the gravity suit if you do something like this. So you're going to go over to here, equip the gravity suit. And you're going to press start and then kind of jump. I think I did that a little bit too early, so I'm going to start. Keep holding B. Look how high you jump. Something with the momentum of like having the gravity suit on and then taking it off. You just kind of preserve your momentum there. Just kind of a fun little thing there. And the reason I showed that off is because if you beat the game without the gravity suit, that's actually how people get through this kind of Maridia without the gravity suit. So just something I thought I'd just show off. Just kind of fun to do. Anyway, this is Maridia, probably everyone's least favorite dungeon or area in the game. Mainly because of how gigantic Maridia is. Because Maridia is by far the largest map in the game. And we're going to go off right to the very beginning. I'm going to just drop a save state here so I don't have to like do this too many times. So, show off probably the hardest shine spark jump in the game to get this missile tank over here. It'd be kind of quick. And I lost it, so I'm going to try this again here. It's not really that hard, but just, yeah, it's kind of precise how you have to be there. So I'm going to try this once more. Should take me no more than like 2 tries. Just right where this plant is, and there we go, got it. You know, I'm only human, everyone. It's just sometimes you just make a mistake, and that's just an example of when I made a mistake, so that's fine. The hardest missile tank in the game to get, by far. Just because of, whatever the mechanics are. No, nothing over there, so I'm gonna just kind of come over here. Anyway, this is Maridia. It contains 3... pretty awesome upgrades with Samus. You can get the plasma beam, the space jump, and the spring ball. The spring ball is an optional upgrade, but it's still fun to have. And I'd recommend just getting it. But first, let's go get this super missile tank over here. So I'm just going to kind of... Oh, I kind of did that in a really bad spot. So if you notice, there's a hint there with that guy going into the wall there. You can also use the X-ray scope, but that's the main hint there to show you that you can actually get in here. Shoot the crab or whatever the heck it is. They don't really look like crabs. I mean, they definitely don't sound like crabs, but I'm just going to call them crabs. Just, I don't know. Just what it is, I guess. And then when we're done with here, we're just going to kind of come out of here. Pop out here. I'm going to probably skip some of the items I can get normally right now. I'm going to come back with the space jump because I'll be coming in this room 2 more times just because of the way this level's kind of laid out. So I'm going to try and get my way up here. Might have to actually use the grapple beam here. So if you use it on these things, it kind of allows you to grapple off of them. And then you can kind of just use the momentum to just kind of swing yourself upwards. Oh, come on. Samus kind of stopped there for some freaking reason. So let's just... Sometimes I just kind of go like this to get up here. So let's try this again. You know what? Whatever. I'll just go with it. Like I said, sometimes the grapple physics is kind of off. Just how like you just kind of like go to a stop. Sometimes I don't know what the reason is there, but just how it is sometimes. But you should be able to wall jump there pretty easily. So awesome. Anyway, this is next part of Maridia here. I always thought the music of Maridia was kind of fun. It's just very haunting, and then it kind of switches into this like I don't know, more serious tone, if you will. Right here, actually. Not sure why. Maridia just has 2 themes, I guess, but that's okay. Gotta have some fun in Maridia, because everyone hates this dungeon. I'll just call it a dungeon. It's not really a dungeon. It's more, you know, just a map. It's just a map. It's okay. Watch out for the thing there. Those breakable blocks that just collapse upon Samus's weight. Get the super missile. And I think we can just go left. There's actually some items down below. Once I go down here. Be kind of under the floor over here, like where the sand is. I'll come back there once I need the spring ball for some of the upgrades, so I'm just gonna kind of just deal with it. Kind of come over here. And up here in this room, you'll fight something that looks like Metroids, but they aren't Metroids. I think they're called Maltoids or something. I can't remember what they're called for sure. The prime thing, prime difference of these things and regular Metroids is you can kill them with your beam outright compared to Metroids, which you need to freeze them and then shoot them with 5 missiles and one super missile to kill them. They're kind of defective Metroids. I don't know what the story is with them. I think they're called Maltoids. It sounds like something like some sort of like candy or something, but you know what it is. I'll just call them Maltoids. They're defunct Metroids. Here's this like little snake thing. With I think 6 super missiles. If you're really good, you can kill him before he goes into a hole. Okay, he had 1 super missile hit to get. That was rather pathetic how many tries that took, but you know what, whatever. Usually it takes me like about half that time, I would say, but I'm not a professional at this game. That's okay. Just hold right over here. You should be able to run everything, and then you notice there's probably like an energy tank there that they kind of put just right in the way for you to see, so just don't go too fast. Kind of jump back up here. Maybe it's over here. I forgot where this is at. It's right here. You want to jump again. Come down here, get the energy tank. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And then we'll just go left and back right again. This video might be probably my shortest, which is ironic, as Maridia is the largest area in the game, but I don't know, it just is what it is when you collect a bunch of crap before you come into Maridia. And here are more Maltoids, or whatever they're called. You can actually, I think, kill them with your grappling beam. Yeah, in 1 hit, nonetheless. You can't do it with an actual Metroid, but you can with these things. Just gotta keep going over here. I hate the quicksand of this game. It just eats all your momentum when you're jumping. Also, the way the Maltoids, like, kind of drain energy from me is not like how a Metroid actually does it. Metroid, like, it suppresses your movement, then kind of eats you. These things just kind of hover around you and then periodically damage you. Very, very annoying. Can I come over here? I'm not going to take the grappling points just because they're kind of annoying. If you need health, there's a health charge thing right up in that room. I need more super missiles, I just realized, but I'm going to show off a glitch anyway when I'm fighting Draygon, so get this missile tank over here before I forget. I'm not going to use super missiles on the door down here. And notice these spikes aren't activated, so you can actually walk through them. And in fact, I guess I'll have to show it off when I come back with the space jumps. I don't think I can get out of here very well. Actually, what do I talk about? You can actually use 3 missiles on these things. So this is Draygon. I'm going to show a couple of ways to kill this guy. The easiest way by far is to shoot these little plugs off the side. I think it takes 3 or 1 super missile to get. And the whole point of these is when you get caught by Draygon, you can grapple onto them. I'm going to use the grapple beam to kind of drain most of his life, and then I'm going to show you the blue suit glitch. Also, the way those like little monsters kind of like come into the area and then like kind of like fluttered from the left to right, it actually spells, it's an Easter egg that people found out. I think it spells Samus. I'll have to look up or put a map up when I'm editing this video later. So let Draygon pick you up when he puts the goo on you. I really hate his eyeball. It's really freaky looking. I'm going to drop a save state here just so I don't like miss this kind of thing. Timing's a little tight sometimes. Okay, there we go. Get off of him. I think that's enough damage to him, so get off me. So what I need to do is get him to get gunk on me. And with that, you should be able to kind of run. I did that wrong, of course, so I'm just going to try this again. Get off me. You want to put more gunk on me, please? Ah, I missed it. I think you see where I'm going with this, so I'll try this again. There we go, got it. So you can finally see how that happened. It only took about 10 minutes to do that. I'll edit out most of the videos so you don't see like me failing it trying to get this. But if you kill Draygon as a Shine Spark Samus or whatever, you can stay in your blue suit. So you got to make sure you don't hold the A button. If you do that, then Samus will lose her Shine Spark suit or whatever. So with this, I actually have a really interesting glitch called the blue suit glitch. And I'm just going to save state here. The only downside is you can't run while doing this. So why would you ever do this? Well, let me just escape out of this room for a second. So basically you come out of here. Space jump out of here. And I'm just going to save stay here just to show, because I said I was going to do this. So if you show this off, you can see there's nothing there. So anyway, with the blue suit, you can walk into monsters, and they just destroy themselves. So if you ever like wanted to feel like what it's like to be a monster in any game where you can't touch them, but they can touch you, now you have your dream to do that. So anyway, I'm going to shine spark. Whoop. Okay, so you press down. You can then just shoot across like that with the shine spark. So it saves quite a few seconds just to do that. And that's the only reason to really do the blue suit glitch. Kind of a fun little thing there, just because you can walk into monsters and kill them. But it's the only time you can really do that. It's just a shame it took me like 10 minutes to finally kill that thing with the blue suit. But whatever. Sometimes you just have bad days, I guess. So with that, we're actually going to go to the northern part of Maridia and get the plasma beam. And then from there, we'll just get the rest of the items in Maridia, and we'll probably get out of this area pretty quickly and just go to Norfair. So, Maridia is a little strange of how big the area is, that there's actually a, there's actually like an elevator in the Maridia that takes it from the north part to the south part. It's right over here. But first, we have to get the plasma beam. And from killing Draygon, some of the doors reopen, so I think there's probably ways to get up here without the space jump if you're bomb jumping or something, but to prevent that, the game actually seals the door until you kill Draygon, just kind of a safety measure, I guess, so it is what it is. Like I was saying, what the game teaches you, the game, not through tutorials or anything, but just, like, from playing the game. Let me get up here. Oh my gosh. That's what I thought. Now, I said, like, this game is not perfect with every time you get an item, you have to hear the item acquisition fanfare. The other thing that's probably not good is the space jump is not programmed very well. Pay attention to how many shots it took me to kill those, like, blob monsters. It's the only time you see that monster in the game, and it's only to demonstrate how the plasma beam works. Because the plasma beam allows you to pierce monsters. The wave beam allows you to pierce walls. Now you can pierce monsters and walls. And it's extremely strong. If you try shooting these things without the plasma beam, you actually will find out you can't harm them. So that's just how it is. Apparently I'm missing one more space pirate, so let me go find that now. There it is. Come on, computer. I guess I'll just show this off quick. So the plasma beam is actually a green color, so I'm just going to turn off this and just keep that on now. So it's kind of a useless item unless you have the wave beam. The wave beam allows you to actually fight monsters that are a little bit lower than Samus, but I just want to show off what the power bomb looked like with the whatever it is. Plasma beam. Notice you can't have the spacer or plasma equipped. There is a way to do this. I think you see where I'm going with this. But I think you see where this is going. I'll show this off later. To show off just the glitch to get the plus game mode. Look at that. You kill these things in just a couple of shots now instead of like 10. Plasma beam is very, very awesome. Plasma beam debuted in Metroid 2 Return to Samus, but I always, and again, it could pierce monsters in that game, but I always found it kind of situational just because, for one, you needed, it just seemed like the wave beam or something was like better. Anything that could just like attack monsters a little bit lower than you. I can't remember if you needed ice beam in that game or not. You get the ice beam in the game, but I don't know. Spacer is just kind of situation, or plasma situational. Spacer also debuted in Metroid 2 Return to Samus. And here's the elevator that takes you to the southern part of Norfair, or Maridia. Just how big the area is, I guess. We're going to go to the right and get the spring ball, and then we can pick up the rest of the items and get the hell out of Maridia. So it'll be a relatively short video. So before I can do anything, one thing I want to point out, it's probably hard to see this, but when you're under the sand falling, your jump is a little bit heavier. I could probably demonstrate that like here. Just, I don't know, it's hard to really say. Unless you play, you have to kind of play the game to kind of see that. It's just kind of a weird little thing. Anyway, I was saying earlier about how the game has two problems with it, and that's the Item acquisition fanfare is played too often. And the other thing is the space jump was just not programmed very well. If you like, kind of like... Gotta get this thing out of here. With the space jump, if you like, you can't just like kind of like repeatedly jump like see, I'm just tapping the B button as fast as I can and I'm kind of jumping, but like if you kind of have too much hang time and fall down, then for some reason the space jump just doesn't work anymore. They kind of fixed that thankfully in Metroid Fusion, where you could just kind of just keep pressing the B button, then you just jump endlessly basically. So I'm glad they fixed it in later versions. In fact, I think there's actually ROM hacks of this game that makes the space jump a little bit more better controls and whatever, but that's okay. Those are my only two gripes with this game, as far as I know. And maybe this thing, too, because this thing's kind of... I don't know what this is, to be honest, but you don't want to shoot it until at the very end, because it's the only thing they need, those dirt blocks. Anyway, this is the spring ball. It's an optional item in the game. It's a fun item to get. Just gotta go over here. Pop up here. Spring ball. I believe it debuted in Metroid 2 as well. Of course, when you get the space jump in that game, it's kind of pointless to have the spring ball. But in later versions of Metroid games, like Metroid Fusion, the high jump boots combine the high jump and spring ball together, so it's kind of fun. And speaking of fun, those things are kind of fun. They're like soccer balls or something, so you can just kind of kick them. I don't really know if you can kill them, but it doesn't really matter. All right, let's continue down our merry way. Go left. We'll have to kind of exit Maridia. Go back into Maridia, and then leave Maridia again. It's just the way the dungeon's designed, because there's a one-way gate that prevents you from getting back into Maridia. I don't know why they did that. Some game designers laughing his ass off. Like, they go, oh, I remember when I could do that. Now people have to go into Maridia 3 times to get all the items. Very, very weaselly, if you ask me. Keep going over here. Keep going to the left. Sand from above slows down, like gives you more gravity, so your jump's a little bit less hang time on it. And over here is the hint that tells you that you can blow up the pipe, the glass tube, because here's the broken glass tube here. Well, we already know that. Where does it come over here? If you go to the right, there's the map station. We don't need no map station. You can, if you want to see how big the map is, you can go get it and take a look. But there's really not that many items in Maridia, to be honest. So I got to make sure I preserve my super missiles here, because I don't have many for one, and I need to go through that gate a couple of times. Go back into Maridia. Now that we have the space jump, we're just going to kind of go up here. I guess I can't kill that thing with this charged up space jump. Oh, for God's sakes. Well, let's go down here. Perfectly fine. We didn't go talk to well, not talk to, but fight the turtle monster, or whatever it is. There's two things in there. I think it's an energy tank and a missile tank, if I remember correctly. So come down here. Not fall, but go into here. I really need my super missile, so I'm going to just go with that. Here's where you find these turtle monsters. So these are monsters you do not save when you save the animals in this game. Can I just come down here, get that missile tank? And then if you keep kind of jumping to the left, you can actually get into this without the space jump, but I just think it's a little bit easier. Normally you have to like jump on the turtle mom and then have her launch herself upwards and then jump at the right time. Use her grapple beam right here, and then you can get an energy tank, but I don't want to do that. I always found it kind of tricky, so just use the space jump. You have to come back through here anyway, so there we go. Awesome. Come down here, open the door, and we're going to go out of this area. Kind of towards the right, but go to the left a little bit. With the plasma beam, nothing can stop us. And we're going to go up here. Yeah, there we go. Don't forget to come up this doorway up here, just because there's a couple of items you can get. Where is it? Actually, I think this is the wrong area. What is this? I think this is actually a shortcut back to Norfair. In fact, it is. So, yep, okay, I went the wrong way. So I don't want to go that way. That was a mistake on my part, but like I said, sometimes I just forget where to go, because Maridia isn't that big of a place. Let's come over here, I guess. Oh, okay, I do remember going up, but it wasn't there. It was actually in the room directly over here. You go into this room kind of in this area, you go up from here is where you needed to get these items. So that was a mistake on my part. For some reason, that always confuses me even to this day. No matter how many times I've beaten this game, I always forget it's the right door, not the middle one. Come over here, get a missile tank. We'll have to go left. Although this is kind of a mostly dead-end area, this kind of like sandy part of Maridia here. Just kind of fly over here. I think this is actually like almost like near the entrance of where you come in from the wrecked ship. But we're not going to show that off because there's no reason to go there at the entrance. Instead, we're going to go over here. You need the space jump kind of to make this a little bit easier. Come over to here. And then there should be like just a pit to the left. A seemingly boring pit. Just fall through it and you get your missile tank and a super missile tank. There's nothing boring when there's a missile tank and a super missile tank together. In fact, I find it kind of fun. Too much fun. And with that, we'll go back out of this area. Now we have to kind of backtrack. It's kind of a stupid area. So if we're in 100% category, I'd say these missiles and super missiles are usually almost always skipped. But that's okay. I don't mind doing 100% of this game. Metroid Fusion is about the only Metroid game I do not get 100% in because I've always found it kind of pointless in that game because missiles and power bombs weren't really that effective in that game as the monsters evolve to get stronger, and you just have to use your beam anyway. Your beam gets more than strong enough to handle anything in that game, especially when you get the wave beam. All right. Drop a power bomb. Oh, yeah, keep kneeling, Samus. Everyone needs to see you kneel. Drop a power bomb here. There's actually a save room directly to the left right there, but we don't need to use that because we're almost done with Maridia. Drop a bomb. I'll just take the first path here. If you fall in the sand here, it takes you to a kind of a secret area. Now that I have power beam, or plasma beam, I can actually kill these, whatever these things are, squids or something, without much hassle. Be careful of the trap up here, if I remember correctly. Awesome. Come down here. I hate this room so much, just getting in and out of it. So why do you need the... Shit. Okay, because of that, there's all those stupid breakable blocks here. So it's really handy to have the spring ball, because you just hold the jump button, you instantly jump the second you come in contact the floor. And that's pretty much the only reason why you want the spring ball. And to get out of this area a little bit. Okay, awesome. I always forget which side the... I think it's right there, actually, so I actually got kind of lucky. And with that, we actually have to go back out of Maridia to get back into Maridia to get the remaining items. Just how this game works sometimes. Come on, Samus, get out of the sand. There's no reason to play in the sand. I think we have to just jump over here again. There's another sandy room. That actually went by really smooth right there. That's a little unusual for me. Usually, I can never seem to get the controls to handle very well. Fall down here. Yeah, used to seeing that room one more time because we're going to be seeing it again. Switch the super missiles. Get the door unlocked, and then we'll just kind of go right back into Maridia again. Yes, that's Maridia for you, even though it's inside of, kind of Norfair. Just an unusual kind of thing at this level. Anyway, I hope you like seeing this again. I sure as hell did. Take the stair over, not the stairs, but the door over here. There's like a shark monster directly above you. Not that one. And that's the easiest way to get out of there. Whoop. Alright. So now we're going to go back to the room with the breakable block that had the quicksand or whatever it was. I think you can actually just bomb these. I don't know why I keep dropping power bombs. I think it's just because I think you have to destroy the platforms below it. I know you have to do a power bomb in this room here to get out of it. Come over here. Come out of your morph ball. Just come on over here. Kick the kick ball. Make sure you're from the far right and then go over here. You'll have just enough room to get over across it. But then you'll find a second sand pit. Fall into this one. Kill the monsters as usual if you're low on life. But maybe you don't need to tell me that. Survive. You need me to survive. You need me to hold your hand too while I'm at it. And here we actually find our final reserve tank. Just right over here. There we go. Final reserve tank. Too much fun. I just realized I have not shown off the Crystal Flash yet. Maybe I'll show it off in the next video in Norfair, because that's, if you ever do like a reverse boss order speed run, you have to use the Crystal Flash in that fight, which is very hectic as you constantly taking damage, and you can only initiate the Crystal Flash when you have 50 or fewer energy and at least 10 missiles, 10 super missiles, and 11 power bombs. But like that, we're actually done with the Maridia, so let's get the hell out of here. I think when we leave Maridia, we're going to head to the right, if memory serves me right. And when we do that, we'll be back in Norfair. We'll just kind of slide our way back to the right. Slide our way to the right, and then we'll be in it's technically called the ancient underground ruins, but it's inside of the Norfair map. So I just have for the side panel, I'm just gonna have that. In fact, I'm gonna switch this over to Norfair now, even though we're still technically in Maridia, but that's okay. Okay, let's go down here. I think we're actually in Brinstar technically, but now we're in Norfair. May as well. We can't be too careful, you know, in this game. Okay, awesome. We're going to just run straight to Ridley. And we'll run straight to Ridley by doing the best thing we can do, which is taking the shortcut. So Maridia might have the vertical elevator. This has like a horizontal room that allows you to just traverse Norfair really, really quick. We're going to go all the way to the other S, basically, over there. So just hold up your speed booster. And here you go. Cool, I got the door open just in time. And I think we have to go through here and then go south, if memory serves me right. And here we are. Keep going down here a little bit. There's still a little bit more to traverse, but that's okay. And we'll kind of get our way over here. I think it's right after this room, because it's like that's right before the room that has all of the earthquake stuff. Trying to just not die here, even though you can't get hurt from the lava now because the gravity suit. Fall down here. I think I came in here. Yeah, I did, because I showed off just like the landmarks the game does. But now you can actually get out of here with the space jumping gravity suit. So I'm just gonna kind of do this. You can actually use that gravity suitless glitch I showed at the beginning of the video to jump up out of this pit if you really wanted to do that. But just like that, we're not going to go down that elevator now. We're going to go into here and save the game. And just like that, we're actually at the end of our video. So thank you for watching. I hope you watch the next episode. So, stay tuned.